G'day, I'm Peter Madden. As you can tell from the accent, I'm an Australian. I have a lifelong love of wine and food, which is probably reflected in my shape a little. Today I want you to come with me to France, one particular area of France. Come with me to the Burgundy region. Have a look at some of the great wines and some of the wonderful food.
Considered to be France's richest province, historically, culturally, gastronomically and economically, is the region of Burgundy. Its capital, Dijon, was once the home of the Dukes of Burgundy, who resided here in the Palais des Ducs until the 15th century, when Burgundy was a separate kingdom of France. Under their patronage, the Dukes turned the city into a great centre of European art and commissioned many spectacular palaces and monuments, including the magnificent Église Saint-Michel. Today, its richly ornamented facade is still considered among the most beautiful in France. Once a main centre on the spice route, Dijon has become famous for its mustard and gingerbread, pain d'épices, and as a commercial centre for what has become one of the world's foremost wine-growing regions.
I'd like you to come with me to a particular area of Burgundy, Puy-Foussay. It's a white wine area, so the grape of choice, of course, is Chardonnay. I'd like you to meet some friends of mine who have a fantastic family and a wonderful history.
We are in the south of Burgundy, in the region which is called Puy-Foussay. The Puy-Foussay, it's a very old appellation. Those vineyards that are here, they were planted under Jules César. It's not new vineyards. And it's not a new appellation like Saint-Véran or some of the Beaujolais. It's a very old appellation. And the ground is very adapted to vineyards. So it makes a very good quality. It's only Chardonnay. The Puy-Foussay region, in fact, is a very small region in the south of Burgundy, but it's the region that makes probably the best white wine in France. Like Bordeaux is known for red, and the north of Burgundy is known for red. Here, there's only white. It's a dry white wine, and it's known all over the world.
This is Château Pouilly, so it's the castle of Pouilly, which is the name of the village, and we only produce Chardonnay, so it's only white wine. The vineyard of Château Pouilly, which is all around the castle, exists since 1551. So since 1551, we produce there Château Pouilly, so this is our wine.
Château Pouilly was the first castle in the region. It's been in my family since the 1800s, and I am the 6th generation. My two daughters, Alida and Alexa, are the 7th generation. And the very interesting part is that the last 5 generations have been women. Although men were around, it's always the daughter that took over the domain and handled it. My great-grandmother was very lucky because her husband was fascinated by the wine. And he handled the domain himself and did a lot of work and had a lot of awards. And he was going to America, to Brussels, to England, to get medals everywhere, always gold medals. Then it was always ladies that took over, and we tried to keep up with his work.
The wine we do here, it's only Chardonnay. So we have a very traditional way to do in the vineyard, but my mother has renovating all the equipment to have a perfect quality of the wine. Since 2005, we have two different cuvées. We have the more traditional one, which is the 1551, and the other one, which is called the Grande Cuvée. The wine stays in the oak barrels for 12 months, and those barrels are filled up every 2 weeks because of the evaporation, which is called part des anges, which is the part of the angel. And you can find on the walls this black mushroom, and it's very important to keep humidity in the cellar. So everything is made by ourselves, from the production to the bottling, which is made at the property, and the storage. And at the end, we commercialize it ourselves.
We make two cuvées, one traditional 1551 and a Grande Cuvée. At the moment, I have a gold medal one, which I propose that we taste. We are very proud of it, because it's also a wine that can age. It can keep it 5 to 7 years. It won't move. It's very well balanced, and the flavors are very typical for Pouilly-Fuissé. Now you see, this is a typical Pouilly-Fuissé. It has a very gold color in the nose. You have mineral aromats. And the taste is typical to Chateau Pouilly. You have that velvet, smooth taste in the mouth. It's long, but it's still dry. So it matches everything, all fish dishes, white meat, aperitif.
Well, now you know the story of Pouilly-Fuissé, and you've met my friends. The next thing for us to do is have something to eat to go with our wine. And this recipe is very simple to prepare and is a perfect match with the wine. I was in Normandy earlier this year, and I didn't have this recipe, but I did have the oysters and the Pouilly-Fuissé, and it was a perfect match.
Ideal with this region's white wines is a simple but unusual recipe created here in Burgundy. Oysters in seawater gelatine, huîtres gelées. The choice is oysters from Normandy in the north of France or Sète in the south. Other ingredients are rocket leaves which have been blanched and blended with shallots and parsley. 1 or 2 sheets of gelatine and a little full cream. To begin, the oysters are carefully shucked and their jus collected in a small bowl.
Les huîtres étant ouvertes, nous allons les passer afin de récupérer le jus.
The oysters are put aside for the moment and the oyster jus drained into a small saucepan and placed on the stove on a low heat. Then the sheets of gelatine are softened in cold water for a few moments and gently mixed into the warmed oyster jus.
Voilà, je la mélange bien.
The next step is to generously fold the rocket mix into the beaten cream.
À la crème fouettée. Voilà, quelques coups de fouet pour bien mélanger les
and
deux matières.
Half fill each of the oyster shells with the mix as a bed on which to place the oyster.
Bien garnir le fond de l'huître, de la coquille d'huître. Alors, bien mettre l'huître dans le bon sens. Voilà.
A sprig of rocket for effect.
L'appliquer sur l'huître afin qu'elle ne se décolle pas.
And finally, a little of the gelatine and jus mixture is gently dribbled into each shell.
Voilà, délicatement, en nappant bien toute l'huître.
Then into the refrigerator for 30 minutes to allow the gelatine to set. And voila! Huîtres gelées. Oysters in seawater gelatine, ready to be enjoyed, accompanied by a fine white wine, of course, from Burgundy.
What a journey we've had today. But we've only touched on just such a small amount of Burgundy. There's so much more to see. Not only is there more to see in Burgundy, but there's more to see around the world in wines and food. Please follow us and enjoy it with us.